the division of functions. For us to understand this, let's have this definition. We let f and g be the functions with domains d sub f, that is for function f, and d sub g for function g, respectively. Now, the quotient of these two functions f and g, denoted by f over g, is the function defined by f over g of x, which is equal to f of x divided by g of x, such that, or provided that, g of x is not equal to 0. So the domain of this function f over g is the intersection of the domain of function f and g, excluding all those values of x that will not define f of g of x. This makes it very crucial because g of x, at making it 0, should be excluded, all values of x. And at the same time, we have to take a look at the function f, because it might be possible that function f can also bring values of x that will make f over f and g 0. So let's have different functions. Now we have here 6 functions f, g, m, j, n, and p. Now this will be the 6 functions that we're going to use as we go through the given later. But before we proceed to the examples, let us first identify the domain of each function. We start with the domain of function f. X plus 5, or f of x is equal to x plus 5. This is clearly a polynomial function. And during your past lessons, you know already that the domain of any polynomial function is the set of all real numbers. Okay, so there is no question to that. All values of x can be input values. Now, what about the domain of function g? The domain of function g, this is also a linear function which is under polynomial function, so it is also the set of all real numbers. Okay, what about function m? The domain of function m is this one is a quadratic function, and quadratic function is also polynomial function, so we have the set of all real numbers. Let us proceed to the fourth function, domain of function g, and that is, this one is a rational function. And you see x plus 2 will become 0. That will become 0 when x is equal to 2. No? So therefore, we exclude the value of 2, or 2 in the set of all real numbers. So that is the set of all real numbers less than 2 union the set of all numbers greater than 2. So 2 lang ang tinanggal natin. Now, what about for the domain of function n? This one is a square root function, meaning to say its index is an even number 2. Therefore, this 2x minus 1 should be greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, 2x will now be greater than 1. So x must be greater than or equal to 1/2, making it the domain will become the set of all real numbers greater than or equal to 1/2. Now the domain of function p, this function p is also a rational function just like function j. Therefore, we're going to get x squared minus 25 equated to 0 just for us to know the values of x that will make it 0. So we have x squared is equal to 25. So x is positive or negative 5. Therefore, we have two values of x that should not be included in the input because it will make function p undefined. Therefore, we exclude these two values, 5 and negative 5. We have the set of all real numbers less than negative 5 union the set of all real numbers between negative 5 and 5 union the set of all real numbers greater than 5. Meaning to say, we are just excluding negative 5 and we are also excluding 5. So these are the necessary domain that we need to know. Now, after knowing all this domain, it is but necessary at the same time to identify what will make f of x here 0. Kailan siya magsi-0? g of x, kailan din siya magsi-0? And so with m, all of these functions, when will they become 0? So to start, why do we need to know that? Because basically, as we go through, um, because we are into division, then these functions can be found on the denominator. So at the same time, we may be interested to know what are the values of x that will make each function 0. So we start with function f. This x plus 5, when equated to 0, it's x that is negative 5 that will make it 0. So negative 5 as x gives f of x that is equal to 0. Now, what about for function g? Negative 4x minus 20 is equal to 0. So here, negative 4x is equal to 20. X is equal to negative 5. So negative 5 will make function g 0. On function m, this is an example of quadratic function. And you can observe here that x minus 2 times x minus 2 gives this product. So x times x is x squared, negative 2x plus negative 2 times x, okay, is equal to negative 4x, and negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, the value of x that will make that 0 is x that is equal to 2. It's only 2 that will make it 0. Now, the domain of function j, what will make that equal to 0, ang mangyayari dyan, papansinin natin yung numerator. The numerator, which is 2x plus 4, equated to 0. So 2x is equal to negative 4. X that is equal to negative 2 will make function j equal to 0. Remember that when the denominator is equal to 0, then the numerator is equal to 0, then 0 divided by any non-zero denominator is equal to 0. Now on let function n naman, it is obvious that when x is equal to 1/2, then square root of 2x minus 1 is equal to 0 upon substituting it. Now on p of x here, that will become 0. Function p will become 0 when this 3x plus 1 is equated to 0. So 3x is equal to negative 1. X that is equal to negative 1/3 will make p of x is equal to 0. Well, all of these are just necessary for us to understand later the implications of these zeros of x. So here on the first function, we recognize the two functions f and g because that is indicated here. This is equal to f of x divided by g of x. So we just need to substitute the value of f of x, which is equal to, or its equivalent, x plus 5, and substitute g of x is equal to negative 4x minus 20. Now, before we proceed, as we try to simplify that, we need now to identify the domain of this function. So what is the domain of the function? Now, we just need to observe this denominator. What will make negative 4x minus 20 0? What value of x will make that equal to 0? Because we will not use that, okay? Therefore, we have negative 4x is equal to 20x is equal to negative 5. It is x that is equal to negative 5 that is excluded to the set of real numbers allowed to be input of this new function f over g. Therefore, the domain is the set of all real numbers excluding negative 5. Okay, so it looks like this. You just need to exclude negative 5. And now, we can see we can now continue the simplifying it, and later you will know its new look. So we have negative 4 times x plus 5 by factoring, and here we can cancel out x plus 5 and x plus 5, giving us an answer that is equal to negative 1/4. But for your information, negative 1/4 f f over g of x is now equal to negative 1/4. This is just the new function being formed. It is the new function being formed, okay? But Why is it that we got already the domain where in fact this is the new look? Well, accordingly, we need to go back to the reference. Saan ba nanggaling itong function na to? Di ba dito siya nanggaling? And by definition, kailangan ma-define mo na kung ano yung denominator na bawal gamitin kasi meron kang reference. Itong dalawang reference. Okay? Therefore, this new function f over g of x will always go back to the references. Function f and g. Kaya ka nagkaroon ng ganitong domain. Now, hindi pwedeng mangyari na kapag ginamit mo ang -5 dito, tapos ang sagot mo negative 1/4. No. This is just a simplified. It originally comes here. Okay? Therefore, this must be recognized. But then, if you look into this new function, this is a constant function. Therefore, if we have f over g of x where x is equal to -5, and you will come to think of this, you will now realize that when you go back to the original function here, x plus 5 over -4x minus 20, it will become undefined. So -5 plus 5 over -4 times -5 minus 20. You see, 0 over 0, it cannot be, that making it undefined. However, if you will not use other value, you will not use x that is equal to -5, or let's say you are going to use 5, it will give you -1/4, and all values of x will always give you -1/4 na, kasi that is a constant function. And to show you, so 5 plus 5 over -4 times 5 minus 20 is equal to 10 over -20 minus 40. 20 is -40. That's -1/4. Making it true because it originally comes from f of x over g of x. Now this new function g over m of x is also equal to g of x over m of x. Substitute g of x, that is -4x minus 20, and m of x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. Now from that, before getting the simplified form, what is the domain? Domain of this, okay, kailan ba ito magiging 0? Kailan magiging 0 ang denominator? Okay, just a while ago, we already know that that can be x minus 2 times x minus 2, no? Is equal to 0 because this is actually x squared minus 4x plus 4. So what will make that 0? Then nakikita natin na pareho itong dalawa. So it is x that is equal to 2 that will make the denominator equal to 0. Therefore, the domain will become the set of all real numbers less than 2 union all real numbers greater than 2. So tatanggalin lang natin ang x that is equal to 2. Now, if we would like to go to the evaluation, let's say for example you are interested to know what is g over m of, let's say, -1, then you can have two options. The first option is using this function. Then we have -4 times -1 minus 20 divided by the square of -1 minus 4 times -1 plus 4 is equal to, that will be 5 minus 20 over, this is square -1 plus 4 plus 4, and that will give you 5 minus 20 is -15 over 9, and they're both divisible by 3. So you have -5 over 3. This is the answer on the first way. If you are interested to know the second way, remember that this g over m of -1 is actually equal to g of -1 over m of -1. Okay, so ibig sabihin, evaluate natin g of -1 with the use of the function here. So we have, you see, it's just following the same way. Ginagawa niya lang yung ginagawa din nung kanina. Then we have here m of -1. This is still the same. Sa madaling salita, kung kayong nagsosolve kayo, posible na bumalik ka sa original equation, tapos mag-evaluate ka kung ano yung value ng x, and then you will still arrive with the same answer. Pero pag ginamit natin ng x that is equal to 2, obviously, magiging 0 ang denominator, making it the answer that is undefined. So, ibig sabihin nito, g over m is undefined at x that is equal to 2. That is how we understand it. Tanging 2 lang ang magkapagbibigay ng undefined value of g over m. So on this next example, f over n of x is equal to f of x over g of, that must be n of x. Okay, now substitute. F of x is equal to x plus 5. And n of x is a square root function, square root of 2x minus 1. Now, we are now interested to get the domain. But before that, bawal ito maging 0, tama? So kung bawal yan maging 0, 2x minus 1 must be greater than 0. So 2x is greater than 1, so x must be greater than 1/2. Bakit greater than 1/2 lang? Kasi kung ginamit mo yung 1/2, when you use 1/2, so 2 times 1/2 minus 1, 1 minus 1, is 0. Di ba bawal maging 0 ang denominator? Kaya iiwasan natin yung 1/2. Therefore, the domain is a set of all real numbers greater than 1/2. Okay? Now, for example, you are interested to evaluate f over n of, let's say, you're interested to have, let's say, 1. Therefore, that can also be equal to f of 1 over n of 1. So substitute. For f of 1, we have 1 plus 5. N of 1, that is the square root of 2 times 1 minus 1. And you have 6 over square root of 2 minus 1 is equal to 6 over 1. The answer is 6. So this is also equal to f of x over p of x. So f of x is x plus 5, and p of x is equal to 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 25. So you have to listen very well here. If you try to look into the denominator here, you can see that x squared minus 25 should not be 0. So that the denominator, which is a complex fraction, 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 25, ay magiging defined siya. Therefore, x should not be equal to negative 5 and 5. Bakit? Kasi kung sinubstitute mo ang 5 or negative 5 dito, magiging 0. Bawal yun. Now, pansinin natin ang numerator. Remember that when the numerator is 0, I'm referring on the entire denominator dito. Kapag itong numerator ay naging 0, 3x plus 1 becomes 0. 0 divided by non-zero, kasi 0 divided by negative 25. When you let x be equal to 0, magiging 0 ang quotient. Hindi yun pwede dahil x plus 5 divided by 0 will become undefined. Therefore, kukunin natin na makakapag 0 kay 3x plus 1, x that is equal to negative 1/3 will make that 0. Therefore, x should not be negative 1/3. Now, ano ang magiging domain after knowing all of this? The domain now will become the set of all real numbers that we will exclude negative 1/3, exclude negative 5, exclude 5. Tatanggalin natin lahat yan. Therefore, kapag gagawa tayo ng number line, kung ito ang negative 1/3, ito ang negative, baliktad. Okay? If this is negative 5 and this is negative 1/3 and this is 5, ito yung mga tatanggalin natin. Tanggalin yan, tanggalin yan. So, ito lang yung mga kukunin daw natin. So, ano mga kukunin natin? Okay, kukunin natin ang all real numbers less than negative 5. So, ito yun. Union. All real numbers between negative 5 and negative 1/3. So, ito naman yung tinutukoy niya. Union, all numbers between negative 1/3 and 5. Ito, pangatlo. And union all numbers greater than 5. So you see, we have 4 sub intervals. Kasi nga, tatlo yung iiwasan mo. So, magiging 1, 2, 3, 4 sub-intervals ang hanapin mo. Okay? We have the domain negative, all numbers less than negative 5. Union all numbers between negative 5 and negative 1/3. Union between negative 1/3 and 5. Plus all numbers greater than 5. If we try to continue the final appearance, or should I say, when you try to simplify that, f over p of x, that will become x plus 5 times x squared minus 25. Remember the reciprocal, 3x plus 1. So you have x plus 5 times x squared minus 25 over 3x plus 1. So, makikita natin si 3x plus 1 as a naging denominator at simplified form or the other form. Yan ay patunay na bawal nga talagang gamitin ang negative 1/3 sa kanyan. Okay? So, pag ginamit mo ang negative 1/3, negative 5, 5, it will be undefined. Remember, you will always go back to the form f of x over p of x. Okay? Dito ka laging babalik at kung ano yung values na yun ay dapat iwasan kasi originally naging undefined siya. Okay? Now the next function g over m of x is equal to j of x, j of x over m of x. So dito, j of x is a rational function 2x plus 4 over x minus 2 divided by m of x, that is a quadratic function, x squared minus 4x plus 4. Now let's get the domain of this function. Okay, pansinin natin ang numerator muna. Makikita natin dito ang x plus 2. So bawal maging 0 ang denominator, x minus 2, right? So get that equated to 0. So the value of x that will make that 0 is 2. So bawal lang 2. Dito naman tayo sa denominator. Anong value ng x ang bawal gamitin? It is also 2 ang hindi pwedeng gamitin. That is already done a while ago. Therefore, iiwasan lang natin ang 2. And our domain is now the set of all real numbers except 2. All numbers less than 2, union all numbers greater than 2. That is the domain of this function. Now, kung gusto natin ayusin yung function na ito, magiging ganito ang itsura niya. So, I have 2x plus 4 over x minus 2 times reciprocal of the denominator x squared minus 4x plus 4 is 1 over x squared minus 4x plus 4, and that will become 2x plus 4 over x minus 2 times x squared minus 4x plus 4, which is equal to 2x plus 4 over, remember that x squared minus 4x plus 2 can be written into the square of x minus 2. Therefore, sa denominator, magkakaroon ka ng, pwede maging ganito yung tsura niya, the cube of x minus 2. So, tanging iiwasan mo lang ang value ng 2 na hindi pwedeng gamitin. Okay? Kasi pag nagamit yan as an input, magiging undefined. So, kunwari, papasolve sa inyo, what is g over m of 1 in the evaluation? So, pwede mo nang gamitin itong function na to. Magiging 2 times 1 plus 4 over 1 minus 2 raised to 3 is equal to 2 plus 4 over the cube of negative 1. The answer is 6 over negative 1. So 6 divided by negative 1. The answer is negative 6. So that's it. Now this function g over p over x is equal to j over p over x is equal to j of x over p of x. So, ang j of x ito ay isa siyang rational function 2x plus 4 over x minus 2. And p of x is also a rational function 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 25. Bago natin i-simplify ito, kailangan muna natin alamin kung ano mga bawal gamitin. In the numerator, the entire numerator, mapapansin natin na kasi complex fraction ito. Itong x minus 2 ay hindi pwede maging 0. So the value of x that will make that equal to 0 is 2. So ibig sabihin, bawal lang 2. Ngayon, dito naman sa mismong denominator, kailangan hindi mag-0 ang 3x plus 1. So itong 3x plus 1 should not be 0. So alamin natin kung ano makakapag-0 dyan. So 3x is equal to negative 1. X that is equal to negative 1/3 will make that 0. Now, move tayo dito sa x squared minus 25. X squared minus 25 equated to 0. X squared is equal to 25. X is equal to positive or negative 5. So, ibig sabihin dito, bawal ang 5 at negative 5. Okay. So, 4 ang bawal gamitin. Therefore, paano natin isusulat ang domain? Ang domain nito, para mas maintindihan nyo, gawa tayo ng number line. So, this is negative 5. Okay, negative 1/3. This is 2. This is 5. So, ibig sabihin, bawal ang negative 5, bawal ang 0, bawal ang 2, bawal ang 5. So, lahat yan ipinagbabawal. So, magiging itsura ng domain is lahat ng numbers less than negative 5, union, lahat ng numbers between negative 5 and negative 1/3, union, all numbers between negative 1/3 and 2, union, all numbers between 2 and 5, and lastly, union, all numbers greater than 5. Naging ganito ang itsura ng domain because you have to exclude negative 5, kaya dito nahiwalay ang negative 5, nahiwalay ang negative 1/3 kasi bawal, nahiwalay ang 2, at nahiwalay din ang 5. That will now describe the domain of this new function. Now, if we are going to proceed to the simplified form of this function, ang magiging itsura niya ay 2x plus 4 over x minus 2 times the reciprocal of the denominator complex fraction kasi ito, x squared minus 25 per 3x minus 3x plus 1. Is 3x plus 1. Therefore, you can just have 2x plus 4 times x squared minus 25 over x minus 2 times 3x plus 1. This is already accepted, but you might as well end as a product of these two binomials, and you can go to that. Okay, it is clear that when you use negative 5, negative 1/3, 2, and 5 will make the entire function undefined. Okay, but when you are going to use other values except this, then there will be a real number value. To test that, let's say for example we have j over p of 0. So pag 0 ang input, ito magiging 2 times 0. This is 2 times 0, 0, 0 plus 4, 4. So we have 4 times negative 25 times negative 2 times 1. Kasi magzi-0 itong 3x. So 0, 0, 0, 0 din to. Okay, so 4 times negative 25 is negative 100 divided by negative 2. So the answer is 50. The answer is 50.